coach, Greg, and I just watched the live stream of the year, and I'm not talking about Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. That was atrocious. Horrible. What I'm talking about is Seabum making his last appearance after retiring from bodybuilding by competing in open bodybuilding. We may be seeing him at next year's Olympia, not in men's classic physique, but in open bodybuilding. And so I do think that if it's close, if it's a toss-up within 5%, they're going to give the nod to Chris Bumstead. Wouldn't you? He is amazing for the sport. 25 million followers. And so if it's close, Seabum's going to win. And so I just watched it, and you know what? Seabum was on, and Martin Fitzwater, he was off. And so in my eyes, this competition was more entertaining than the Olympia. And so you can debate me, but when will we ever get the chance to see a 212 Mr. Olympia champion, Sean Clarita, compete against Seabum, a classic physique Mr. Olympia, and Martin Fitzwater, who just got 4th place at the Mr. Olympia? And so all the top competitors battling out amongst each other to see who is in fact the best. And so let's get into the posing. Seabum walks out and does an incredible routine. The posing, it's on point, it's exquisite. He carries over the detail and was in fact a little bit bigger.
I have a 10-inch dick.
Yeah, he wasn't quite as sharp as he was at the Olympia, but the added size and fullness that he put on, it was well worth it. And so we have an improved Seabum competing as well as an improved Sean Clarita. Martin Fitzwater, it was his show to lose. He's got more size, fullness, and so all he has to do is show up in the same conditioning and it's lights out. Only thing is, he didn't do it. Martin Fitzwater was off. Yeah, he still has the size. Clearly has the size. He wasn't going to lose the size overnight, but he didn't display the rock hard conditioning that he had at the Olympia. It opened the door for an underdog such as Seabum to walk in and win the competition. And so in the announcement of Chris Bumstead, the first guy in the first call out, everyone realized that an upset could be in the making. And so they walk out, they have 6 competitors, don't have the time to name everyone, and they go through all the poses. An amazing job. Seabum remains in the 1st and 2nd place position, essentially cementing himself as being either in 1st or 2nd place. And so in the final call out, they were down to 4. And so as they went through that round of posing, Seabum was on the side 3rd or 4th. But remember, they then moved him into the center. And so Seabum was now being compared for potentially being in 1st place. And upon the final round, the last one that says it all, they moved in Martin Fitzwater and it was left Seabum versus Fitzwater. This is for all the marbles. Forget what happened before. This is where you truly make up your mind. Remember, I was in fact a judge. I know what I'm doing. And so by this time, you've seen them go through their poses a number of times. You've seen Seabum's strengths. You've seen his weaknesses. The quarter turns. Seabum's symmetry is on point. He has the smallest waist in the competition. He has the Lucid X frame, what we're looking for in bodybuilding. Martin Fitzwater, he has the size. He's gigantic. In particular, his quads and his hamstrings, it's unbelievable. But Seabum has him in the condition. He is in fact leaner than Martin Fitzwater. If Martin Fitzwater has the size and he brings in the conditioning, he's beating Seabum. It's lights out. And so let's go pose for pose. And so in the front double bicep, Seabum has such a small waist, the wide shoulders, and no, he doesn't have massive biceps, but it doesn't matter. He looks amazing. And so in the front double bicep, I'm giving it to Seabum. Next, front lat spread. In the front lat spread, Seabum has amazing shoulders and a small waist. Now, Martin Fitzwater, he does in fact have a better quads, but is it enough? Fitzwater does have impressive quads, but they could have been a bit leaner. His entire physique was lacking in some of those finer details. And so in this pose, I can see them giving it to Seabum. What about the side chest? Seabum's side chest is unreal, one of the best in the world, clearly. He has deep conditioning in the side of his legs. He can see his glutes are stride, and he has that small waist, making his chest look even bigger. And so the silhouette, the shape, the detail, I can see the judges yet again giving it to Seabum. That's 3 for 3. There are only 8 poses, guys. Next, thigh and abdominal. Now remember, Seabum clearly has a smaller waist. His waist is by far smaller. But does he in fact have amazing abs? I'm telling you he doesn't. Seabum does not have exquisite looking abs, and that is why he continues to do the vacuum. He sucks in his stomach to make it look smaller. But remember, in bodybuilding, it's called the thigh and abs pose. pose. And so we want to see his abs. He can hit it, but it is difficult for him. It's not his best pose. And if you're looking at his thighs in comparison to Martin Fitzwater's thighs are nearly double the size of Chris's. Now, Martin Fitzwater's abs, they are a little bit protruding in comparison to Seabum. They're not quite as aesthetic, but it's very close. I can see some judges saying, you know what? I'm going to still give it to Seabum. His waist is smaller. He does hit the ab pose sometimes, and I don't care that his quads aren't that big. Other guys going to say, Martin Fitzwater, the size. Guys, what are you even talking about? But here's the thing. There's a thing in bodybuilding called shows are often won from the rear. And so let's see them both turn around. Seabum, yes, he's conditioning. Martin Fitzwater, it's not his best pose. But do you see the size difference? Let's start with the back of the legs. The hamstrings and the side of the quads popping through. He literally has 20 pounds more muscle just in his hamstrings and his quads. It's not even close. It's light years apart. It's as if one is an amateur and one is a professional. And so even if Seabum has won 4 of the 8 poses, let's give him all of those poses. Martin Fitzwater dominates this pose. Even if Seabum's back was better, which it's not, Martin Fitzwater, because of the thighs, the hamstrings, he's winning this pose. It's bodybuilding. It's about building muscle, and you can't just give it to a guy that has far less muscle just because you like him more. Yes, I'm rooting for Seabum. I want him to win. But as a bodybuilding enthusiast, a person who's been a judge, I have to give it to Martin Fitzwater. And so in the back double bicep, the back lat spread, Martin Fitzwater dominates. He dominates him. And in the side tricep pose, guys, look at Martin Fitzwater's legs. They're so bigger. It's a side tricep. He's got bigger triceps, bigger arms, bigger legs. And yeah, Seabum has a smaller waist, but it is bodybuilding. And in the most muscular, Martin Fitzwater, he has the most muscles. Are we going to argue this? Martin Fitzwater just standing there, his shoulders and his chest is oozing of muscularity. It's just sick. It's just oozing out of his pores. It's crazy. And his quads. Are you kidding me? And so you got to give it to Martin Fitzwater. And so when I'm judging a bodybuilding competition, it's not just who won more poses. It's who had the sum of all poses, overall best physique. And Martin Fitzwater wins by so much in the back poses. His hamstrings and quads in particular, the size of his back, what it does is it exposes a weakness of Seabum, which you don't see in men's classic physique. Seabum does not have the hamstrings and quads to compete in open men's bodybuilding to be the Mr. Olympia. He has the shape and the symmetry, but does not have the size. From the front, he manages to pull it off. He's 6'1", competing against guys who are 6 inches shorter, and in Sean Clarida's case, almost a foot shorter. If Sean Clarida were 6'1", he's winning this competition. But if Seabum were a 5'6" manlet, he's not even in the top 3. And so Seabum, he's fortunate enough to have the statuesque physique, the height. It's important, not just in trying to get the ladies, but also in winning a bodybuilding competition. And so because Martin Fitzwater wins these poses by so much, he's a clear victor. Now remember, I said if it was close, within 5%, they're giving it to Seabum. And listening to the broadcasters go through the competition, one of them said, it's Seabum. He's going to win. And he has a good argument. If it's close, it's going to be Seabum. And he's saying, hey, it's close. Seabum wins some of the poses again, yes. But overall, Martin Fitzwater is so much better in those final poses from the rear that he wins the competition. And so in saying that Seabum was close to finishing in second and therefore he should win, that's like saying that after partying all night harder than last time, sniffing creatine, that you're close to finishing on her stomach. You were gregging your Turk harder than last time, but it ain't never gonna finish. You might try, you might hope it's gonna happen, but it ain't happening. But you know what he forgot to use? Turkesterone and GO2 Max. Now remember, I don't think it would have made enough of a difference in a month. It would have helped, of course it would have, but not enough to put him in first place. But if he were to return next year, GO2 Max and Turkesterone, while using Seco protein bars that taste amazing, even Mike Israetel enjoyed them.
Thank you, Greg.
But remember, Seabum had the proper tan. Mike Israetel with the proper tan, we all know he would have been in this competition and Seabum would end up finishing third. And so let me know in the comments section, do you agree? Should Seabum just win anyway? Hopefully you enjoyed the video. ending it here. And don't forget, there's a money-back guarantee, and on top of that, as if that wasn't enough, you get a $20 gift card if you did not, in fact, like the Seago bars, Turkesterone, or GO2 Max. And so, what do you have to lose? Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm, like the video if you liked it, watch one of those two bloops, and of course, cookbooks, training books, coaching plans by me and my team, the harder than last time clothing line. If you've got no money, get over to the website and get the free diet and training program. It's close to 50 pages. Join the 400,000 plus newsletter subscribers. And until next time, I am out.